back. VAIRtv, episode 3. I'm Sleeves. We got Mickle Moore, and we have our first ever guest on
Yes.
VAIRtv. And the man is a legend. We'll get into that a little bit. Rich Thunder Lopez, NPL star, NPL champion 2023 with the Indy Drivers. Guys won Tournament of Champions stuff, plays a lot of sports, coached a lot of sports, and is a pro teacher as well. Welcome to VAIRtv, Rich Thunder Lopez.
Hey guys, what's happening? Glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me to come on.
Absolutely. So,
Happy to have you here.
yeah, absolutely. It's fun to have a guest because Nick and I get sick of each other pretty quick, and we're tired of our own voices. So let's talk a little bit about pickleball and you, so people get an idea of who you are. And I mentioned a couple of the highlights. The highlight I did not mention is the first time I met you in person, which was in Glendale, Arizona, and Nick was there as well. It was the championship weekend 2023. And it was a match with you and Rick Witskin and Scott Crandall and Jose DeRisi, I believe, from the Austin Ignite. And it was the championship. And it was a must-win, should I say, at that point for Indy. You made, and I don't even think it is arguably, it's the greatest pickleball play I have seen to date, whether it's on video or live, and I happened to be there live, and it was match point. So if you could run us through a little bit what happened there, because there was some bloodshed, and it was on national TV.
Yeah, geez, it was just an incredible weekend. Hats off to NPL for just, creating one of the most amazing opportunities for us seniors to be a part of. So I've got to give them credit. But, if I believe, Austin was smoking us in the championship finals, and I think they were up 5-2, just won the sixth one, 6-2, one match away. And my game, match point, we had a good battle with, Jose DeRisi and Scott Crandall were one of the top duos of the league that year. And so going in, we knew we had to, we had battled with them the month before, and they beat us 11-10 in the third or something like that. It was like a rematch with it. And so they were looking, it would have been a clincher, actually, to be honest, if they would have won that. I didn't know it at the time, but that's what it was. And a lot of people don't know the backdrop that morning. So I had been hurt. I had been going through a lot of different off the scene, off the court stuff. That morning, I got an IV drip. I got massage. I got, there were a lot of things happening.
Pickleball Willis Reed right here.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to play, as I had something happening with my hammy. It was just a lot of stuff. But anyways, I had played mixed prior. Yeah, I think it was. I had lost, and then we had doubles. That match, we went, and it's funny. You don't plan on, people always ask, are you going to dive? You're going to dive. I don't plan on diving. It hurts. It's not like I look forward to it. But, being a shortstop and being a racquetball guy, I think most of my life, I think honestly, just being the mindset of gotta do it, gotta get it at all costs kind of guy. And that play, just, DeRisi, he went for an attack, it clipped the net, and it caught me in no man's, and I had no way to get there. But only thing I knew was the layout, right? Pancake. And then somehow I was able to lift it up and over diagonally. But then also, one of the things when I looked back and saw the play, the fact that I was able to roll away from the post and not hit the netting, right, which I thought to me was just as awesome as the play, and then to roll and kind of do I would say like a gator roll to get back up, but some would call me a panda bear. I don't know, but it was like a panda bear roll or whatever. But, I got up, and then just as I got up, I saw his ball hit the top and then not go over. Right. And then I just tossed my paddle. You would have thought I won the Little League World Series or something.
It was mayhem.
Yes, it was mayhem, and it was
mayhem.
It was just, you couldn't write it, couldn't script it any better. Well, here's what's crazy. This past weekend at the championships, I got a chance to relive a little bit of it, just, because it's championships. But I was talking with my buddy John. So John Hedberg was on the Austin team. And he had told me, he goes, because he was in the middle of a match with another team this weekend, and they were up, and he goes, Mitch, I am feeling the feeling I felt in first season of MPL right now. I am so nervous because I remember, and John's calculating. His memory is so good, right? He was like,
Yeah.
it was this time. He goes, you don't understand, Rich. It was 6-2. You guys went on, and then you won that, and then went on to win 7 straight matches.
Yeah.
He goes,
It was
you
insane.
guys put us in mix. It was just, I couldn't believe it. And so he was sitting there and like, oh my gosh, all we need to do is win these, but I'm feeling like this is that same weekend again. It was just funny.
He's got
I didn't,
trauma.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, so that's kind of what happened. I mean, yeah, what a blessing it was. It happened to be on CBS Sports.
Right.
And, got a chance to, have a little bit of a moment of, hey, the old guys can still, make plays and stuff. But it was cool. Again, the indie drivers, it was a inaugural season opportunity championship. You got to also think about this. In the first half of the season, I was not in pod 1. I was in pod
Right.
2 with Mills, and then
Yep.
during halfway through, we switched it up and put me with Rick and Tao with Mills. And it just,
Okay.
what's interesting is throughout the season, like even this season and watching teams make some moves, how can we help us be better all around and not just in one pot or the other? And so, that kind of really helped a lot. And I'll give kudos to Rick that weekend. He was a very supportive teammate, and it just kind of all came together. And so I think Tao and Kim actually is the one match that clinched it for us. They got the 7th
Right.
point later on. And, but many were feeling like, I think the spark plug of the dive just kind of gave everybody the poof shot that we
Yeah.
needed. And
That was
so
the
it was,
charge.
yeah, it was a
That
little
was
bit.
the charge that took the whole thing over the finish line, and you guys end up winning the whole title there. It was great.
Yeah, I know.
It
It was
really
great.
did. It's I've never seen anything like it since, and I don't think you, like you mentioned, you could script it any better than that. So but yeah, fantastic. Obviously season 3 just ended and NPL is rolling along. So let's get into Vair. Let's
Okay.
talk Vair.
Let's
So
do it. I mean, appreciate absolutely Rich Thunder Lopez. Not a better nickname you're going to find. I mean, I love it. I think it's great. And we're here to talk about Vair. And Rich, your background, not only as a player, instructor, certainly you've been around the game a long time. You've been rated, I'm sure, by different systems, we'll just call them, or rating systems. You've played in tournaments that have used one system versus another. We're talking about VAIR today, this new rating system sweeping across the Pickleverse. You're a big part of it. You're a big proponent of it, like Sleeves and I. Let's talk about what makes it different. And from each of those perspectives, if you don't mind bringing the whole audience in as a player, an instructor, and a high level tournament player, this thing works all across any level.
Right. Yeah. All right. So that was a lot going on there. There, what do I like about it? Why am I involved with it as a player? So many people know I would consider myself what I call a BC player, and that would be a before COVID. And, seeing the game grow and it changing over time, and it's just really getting, just watching it just bloom, if you will. It's just been exciting to be a part of it. And as in tournaments wise and in everything, and when I talk to other friends about different sports they've played, especially tennis players, you know, your rating is something about you, has a little bit about who you are as far as a player, somewhat of an identity. I try not to put my identity in things that I believe aren't that matter the most, but in pickleball world and things like that, the rating is something to say. I'm a 4-0 and I'm a 5-0. Back when I started the game, to be a 5-0 was like everything. And so it was just to have the prestige of made it, to the Mount Everest top of pickleball. So,
Right.
it's
It
come a
puts you at a
long way.
different level, right? I mean, it really did.
Well,
You were there. I mean, most of us
yeah.
stopped here on the mountain and went back down because we could see the glorious mountain tops, but then you were the next level.
I think for those that are achieving that and going there and trying to whatever their best level is, right? That's the one thing I try to help people understand is, you're trying to be the best version of you and who you are in the game. And for some, if they're able to grind, I mean, there is a lot of sweat equity when it comes to, there's no shortcuts to the game, I guess. I mean, some have a shortcut in a sense of based on their past life experiences, we'll say. They may start at a different place. But, the grind is the grind. VAIR? Why now? I was brought to my attention that there was a rating system, which there have been a couple out there. And, when I've always been a believer in the fact that there should always be two genders in the sport. We play tournaments. We have a men's division. We have a women's division. And they are two different things when we have a mixed division. And so when you have the mix and the men's, like, I believe that those aren't one and the same. And so when I saw that VAIR had the opportunity to have an algorithm that can say, hey, we got your gender doubles, we got your mixed doubles, we got the women's doubles, we got age. So we have gender, mixed, and check it out. We're going to throw in an age opportunity. So what does that mean, right? So I listened and I thought, man, that is so good because, I may be a 5'5" or in 50 plus. But if I go down and battle some 20-year-olds that are also 5'5", I like to think that I
You
can,
go through
be,
that. Yeah, that's
Yeah, you're
you
good.
doing that, Rich. That's right.
We would never walk again.
when you're giving up 30 years of young men that also have amazing skill level and quickness and all, I probably, if I had to say, maybe I'm a 5'2" in that area. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm but there should be a difference in that rating, right? If that's, maybe I go and join a money ball tournament that is only based around your combined rating, right? So
Right.
they don't do age and skill, they just do rating or just skill only, if you will. Now I'm playing with the young bucks. So now my rating is going to be a little different, probably based on who I'm playing, right? So VAIR has done an awesome opportunity. I mean, shown us that we can actually distinct that kind of stuff. But I think for me, it was about giving people an option, right? There hasn't really been an option. And as of late, where a lot of people are really worried about their rating right now, they're in a world where they win and lose kind of situation where, you know, so it's just catching people off guard. It's just kind of throwing them off. Now they really don't want to play with anybody lower. Now they really, everyone's really not even going to certain tournaments now. There's just a lot happening in that space. And, kudos to the fact that, the top rating system that's out there now, they've done a great job in, getting it out there, allowing us players to have something tangible, to work with. I think the other one was UTR, which was, playing USA tournaments and stuff like that. But you know, I think Duper, in Inception, done a great job as far as getting to the masses and trying to get us out there and helping, because there was nothing, right? You got to understand, when there wasn't really something, they allowed us to have something. And so I just look at it like this. We all can sit here and say, well, here's what's great about rating systems and here's what's not so great. But when I saw the opportunity with VAIR, I said, you know what, this is awesome, because if, people were, well, Rich, to get involved with VAIR, what if XYZ rating system does what you do and all these different things? And I'm like, my biggest focus is always about the sport winning and the people winning. So if the sport becomes, if the rating systems or rating system eventually, whatever is going to, when the dust settles, I don't know what's going to happen in the future, right? But I do know that it can be better. And so for me, being, in the game for the last 8 years, I think the sport deserves something better. And so if that means competition, and that means, whereas we know with anything with competition, it just gets better because it forces the other ones to get better. Right. And that's what we're really wanting at the end of the day. And so for me, I'm excited to see what VAIR's doing. And you got to remember, it's not just pickleball.
Right.
There are
Right.
other sports out there that have a rating system. So
Yes.
when you're that was the other thing, to be a part of VAIR is not just also being a part of the rating system in pickleball. There are other systems out there that need a rating. So I'm also excited about that as well. VAIR just added the the what do you call it? The
Wheelchair. We can say it.
wheelchair and things like that to the rating system. So it's just leading technology, leading edge, showing that there needs to be something there, providing it, and I love being a part of it. So that's
Yeah,
kind of
absolutely. I think you hit it right on the nose. I think that's the important part for me as well with Bear, and I'm pretty sure it is for Mickle, is that we just want to see the sport get better.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, whatever happens, I would like to be playing this sport, in the future where, we're not fearful of who we play and where we're playing. That's bottom line. Like, I'm not so concerned about, who's on my team, who I'm playing against, what tournament is this? Is this going to impact my rating and so on and so forth. And I think that the key to Bear for me is it's visual. You can see you doing what you do and give you a rating based on the visuals of what you're doing out there. Whether that's somebody in person rating you, whether that's an AI camera, whatever it is, it's looking at you, it's looking at your skill sets, and it's making an evaluation. And it is what it is. And you can take it to wherever you want, but the blame game sort of stops. And now the responsibility is with you about getting better.
no, you're so right. I mean, the opportunity to be verified to um it takes it to the next level for you. It helps coaches, as I verify people, it allows us to also with the after we're all done, being able to say, hey, here are the main points to work on. Now you can set your next 6 week program
Yes.
with a coach
Yes.
and a student, and we can tackle these little areas to help your whole, be your whole game get up to par right now, wherever they want to be. But that's another tool, right? So
Right.
it helps clubs figure out, that's one of the biggest things. I mean, I was talking with Keith and what they did out in Florida, and you guys will probably have him on at some time. But it just made so much sense where they rolled out the free air, the Vera, but the rating system, the rec rating, right? So everybody got on the rec rating, but then what they did was they said, "Yeah, well, let's verify all our 4.0 plus people." So then they verified them, and now they kind of had that whole spot where, hey, listen, to get in here, you got to be verified, and now it just kind of made it easier for the clubs, people, no more sandbagging or
Right.
whatnot. That was probably the other biggest thing, is stopping the sandbagging and
Yes.
the multiple accounts that people would use to enter tournaments and things like that, because unfortunately people will try to work the system. That's just how it is. And if they want to go and try to win a 3-5 and they shouldn't be there, then I mean,
If you
it's
really
just
need
what
a
it is.
medal, Rich, if you really need
Right.
it,
Right.
you're gonna find a way. But I think what you brought up too is the avenue for clubs to make the club more appealing, and that word of mouth starts going, because sometimes you talk to folks who are members at Club A or even Club B, no reason to even, use names, and it's like, yeah, but that tournament, it wasn't as good as it could have been, or the league wasn't as what it should have been. And however, you could have a pure rec league, you could now have verified league nights for people of a certain rating, and you're going to get those games you want. Because when you talk about people maybe not playing here or there, or I'm not going to enter that tournament just because of this, and we all want a rating. It makes you feel good to say, I'm a this when I go play pickleball, but we don't want people to stop playing. We want this game to get better and continue to grow. And I think we all see VAIR is going to help that, including the wheelchair pickleball. There is another name for it, but however, I've been interviewed the CEO of USA Wheelchair Pickleball, and he's okay calling it wheelchair pickleball. And I think that's just great.
Yeah, I also
Adaptive
think,
pickleball.
yeah, adaptive.
Adaptive.
That's actually it right there. I I actually think that also when yeah, certain guys, why I'm so big on the whole mixed rating is because I think there are guys that are better mixed players than gendered players, and their rating may be higher because of their skill set, right? Especially those tall guys, the long reach, and they're just kind of a big, yeah, there you go. See, well, what's interesting is I'll take me as an example. I find myself a little, it's weird, but I get more aggressive because I have to in mixed as opposed to in gender doubles where you're also relying on you know, your male partner as much. Maybe you cover more court usually in mixed. Now that'll determine based on your partner because I've also played with, like, I've had the blessings of playing with Heather Iffert this year in NPL, and she's a beast. I mean, at 60 years old, her and I were able to compete real well with some of the top young 50 plus mixed, doubles. But that will also matter depending on it. But I think that's one of the main things I like about VAIR and having that mixed rating in there. So
Yeah, no, well said. And I think the more we can get out there and you know who you're playing against, I like too the predictability in and factors that you have with VAR also, and you start to get a history and understand "Ooh, as I step onto the court, if we're all verified, I'm
You guys
already
can
getting
hear me
some
at all?
probability into how this thing thinks the match might go. And I might know, this could be an upset for me, or this is going to be a
right,
very tight match. And I think we've got some great things happening at the ground floor from VAR. It looks like we lost sleeves, but it's okay. I think we got where we needed to go tonight, Rich. I really appreciate you joining us, making some time here on this episode of VAIRtv. Here to talk about VAIR, folks, the visually assessed international rating system available for folks everywhere. We're going to leave some information we talked about that you can join this for free. Check
right.
it out.
You know what I like to do?
Getting a score. Go ahead.
I would like to do this. Let's do this at the end of our little show here. Why don't we put um you guys end with I don't know if you have your QR code for people to try out VAIR or whatnot. But let's challenge it. Let's maybe I can donate a paddle, a Gearbox GX2 Power,
I like it.
and in order to enter, you got to download the free version of VAIR.
VAIR.
Yeah, that's all you got to do to get into the drawing is
Okay.
to download the app,
If
make
we
a
get,
free profile.
if we get what, let's say, how many downloads to choose the winner?
I would say let's get 50 downloads. We'll
50
go with
downloads. We'll pick a winner. We'll do all the hard work and have to go and we'll have to shovel through all those analytics. We'll pick a winner. We'll announce it all through socials. I love it. That's a heck of a paddle too, folks. All you
yeah.
need to do is do something that's free. We'll get the code out there. We'll track it. Once we hit the number, sleeves now come back on and say, hey, we did it. And then we can announce a giveaway. I like it.
I don't want I don't want to limit it
Can you
to
hear me?
50 because if more people get in by the time you do the next air, that's what I would like the time frame to be. So that the next time you get on, you'll be able to announce that winner.
Okay.
So that's the hope. The hope will be is that when whoever your next
We'll take as many
right until
downloads as
that
we can
period.
get. Right. And what we're going to do is announce the winner. So you
Anybody
need to
there?
come and download it. We're going to get more than 50 between the next episode of VAIRtv. And on that next episode, we'll come on and announce a winner of the Gearbox paddle. Which one is it again?
The GX2 Power.
Woo! That's a slick paddle, folks. Sleeves, are you there?
Hey, he's trying. I see him. He's just, freezing. He's got to get, what he needs is aluminum foil. He
That's
needs a
right.
little, or a coat hanger.
He needs a hat.
Yeah, yeah.
He needs a hat. He's up there at that secret pickle
The
camp.
rabbit ears. He's got to get
Yeah.
the rabbit ears. I don't think it's going to let him to get back on.
No, it's trying to let him come back in again. There he is.
I'm back.
There he is. He's
There
back.
it is.
Holy cow. There's the yurt, by the way.
Love it. Love it.
That's great. Sleeves, just letting you in. So we just decided by the next Vair show, we're going to announce a winner. So I'm going to donate a GX2 Power Paddle by Gearbox here. Gearbox, we're going to go ahead and throw one in. And what we're going to, all they got to do is go to, I want you guys to put up your QR code and let them sign up for their free Vair account. So we want people getting out there and start doing that rec version of Vair and seeing the algorithm just blow them away.
Right.
And also by doing that, they get a free 30-day trial of Vair Plus. So they'll get to see all the bells and whistles with that as well. So, and then by the next episode, you guys can announce the winner, but we need a minimum of 50 registrants. So hopefully we'll get that probably the next couple of days. And then, but we don't want to stop it, right? I don't want to say, oh, sorry guys, you're too late. So by the next episode, you guys can go ahead and announce the winner.
Yep. By the next episode, we will have a winner to announce of the GX2 Power Paddle, incredible paddle. Thank you very much, Rich Thunder Lopez. You can't help get the thunder in there. I mean, it's so great. And now, are the rumors true of how you got that nickname? I mean,
yeah,
are you pretty good at bar sport?
Yeah, foosball. So I was young and 18. Real quick, I'll let you guys know. Partner and I, we decided
let the people know, not just us. The people have to know.
Yeah. So what happened was I was 18, just graduating high school, started playing this game called foosball, didn't know really much about it. And then all of a sudden my buddy and I said, hey, we need to enter a tournament. And so when we did, we were like, we need a team name. So basically he had a pull shot that was so fast. It was so like he would put his hand on the rod and then he would look away and just go wham and just, look the opposite direction and just slam it in and long and deep. So that's why he's lightning. And then for me, I was part of I helped a shot go viral. It's called the rollover snake, whatnot. If you YouTube foosball today and you will see some of the highlighted top pros playing and whatnot, most of probably 95% of the people are shooting a rollover shot. So back when I was that day, I helped that shot. I was one of the first to shoot it. And so it's kind of nice to see it go. But when you shoot that shot, the rod sits on your wrist and you kind of dance around and then you roll it up. And that's why they call it the rollover. So the man goes almost 360 and hits the ball. See, that's the caveat, because you can't go 360 without touching the ball because you can't spin it. So, but once that happens, it catapults the ball in there and it just is loud. I mean, it hits the back of that goal. And so that's where the thunder came.
That's the thunder.
And that's where the thunder came. So anyways, that's kind of a quick little, Reader's Digest version, but he was thunder. I mean, lightning, I was thunder. And then we went on from there, but it was great run, in the foosball days.
Love it. I love it. Well, right now, people, you can bring down the rain, lightning, and thunder. Download the free Vair entry. You're going to get the code. All you got to do is scan it. You click. It's easy. Try this out. Then you can get verified. Hey, Rich, again, thanks a lot for joining us here on VAIRtv. We're going to wrap it up right now. I appreciate you. If you want to plug Gearbox again, please do, or anything else. But thanks again. We're going to get people joining this Vair community. They're going to love it.
Yeah, thanks so much. Again, thanks to Gearbox. If you want to get anything Gearbox, use them code Thunder and check out. I always got to give Jigsaw Health a little props because I've been with them for a long time. Rich 10, go get your, Jigsaw Health. There's another code out there for you guys. And Acacia Shoes is my other sponsor. So if you guys need some good pickleball shoes, check out acaciasports.com and code name Thunder and get yourself a discount. So thanks so much.
Thank you. Don't forget to check out VAIRtv, scan the code, and join for free.
Peace.